Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I thought I would do another one of these videos sitting down in front of the camera, give you guys some different styles of videos. Let me give you guys that forearm shot. All right, I'm going to discuss with you guys briefly this idea that people have that the bench press is not an amazing chest builder, okay? I don't want to just say good, but anyone who says it's not an amazing chest builder, number one, probably lifts like a jackass. Number two, doesn't know basic biomechanics, because the bench press has always been a great chest builder going back for generations. Okay, now when I make that statement, I am not saying bench press is the only thing you need to grow your chest. It's not the only thing I do for my chest. What do you guys see me do in an average workout? My 2 upper body sessions, I flat bench, I incline bench, I do pullovers, okay? I'm doing 3 movements for my pecs twice a week. So I am not saying that. And if you guys noticed, my chest separation when I'm training, decent lighting in the gym, usually pretty good at this point. I'm starting to get that split up through there and everything. But when we're talking about bench pressing, and what I would suggest to people is that if you can't figure out how to make your chest get activated on a flat bench, do you really think you're going to do that much better with dumbbells? Okay. Maybe because you can't bounce the dumbbells, that is probably the only reason. So when you have someone, and I already know what their bench is going to look like. When I get someone who tells me, I feel dumbbells way more in my chest and I don't feel the barbell bench in my chest at all, I already know what their bench press looks like. I don't have to see them bench to know that they are bouncing the bar off their chest like a trampoline, or they're not even touching their chest. Okay? I want to be clear there. And I'm talking about muscle building here. I'm not talking about powerlifting, because I'm stronger when I power bench. You guys have seen me bench with a decent arch. I have long arms, so no matter what, I have a long range of motion. You guys have watched me do 335 for 5 reps paused as an old man. Okay? Power benching with an arch. That still works your chest. That's still where you still should be feeling your chest a lot on that. Okay. But I already know that these people don't have an efficient grip width. They are not gripping the bar in a position to where they're stretching the chest. They're either way too narrow or way too wide. Okay. If you go way too wide, what happens? More front delts. Right? You're using less chest because you're just not getting a stretch at the bottom. You're loading the front delts harder. Or the triceps are doing a little more work because they're going way too narrow. Okay, a little bit more arm dominant, and they're bouncing the bar off their chest. We already know that's what's happening. Okay, because biomechanically the pecs are the primary mover, and if you bench in a way that's conducive to that, the pecs should be almost the only thing you feel. So right now for my work sets, I grip about pinkies on the rings to where my elbows are completely stacked at the bottom. I pause on every rep with a flat back. Almost no arch. I'm very, very close to flat back. Okay, what does that do? That puts the pecs in a stretch position. That will build your chest. Will build your chest relatively evenly, upper and lower. Now, if you're chasing a certain look, you may want a little more upper chest, in which case doing some incline work makes some sense. If you're chasing overall chest development, I'm not telling you not to throw some dumbbells in after the bench. But if a person cannot work their pecs on the bench press, they do not know how to lift. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that if a coach is telling you, oh, you can't build your chest that way, that coach doesn't know how to perform exercise. I mean, let's set aside powerlifting, let's set aside studies, let's set all that aside. If a coach or a lifter can't figure out, at least filming themselves and watching, hey, if I grip the bar here, my elbows go into the lowest stretch, it puts the most stretch on my pecs. Because again, people are like, well, I want to feel it. They can't get that mind-muscle connection. Okay, get your grip correct. Stack your wrist correctly. Get the bar over your wrist bone so that you're not cocking it back and feeling it strain your shoulders. Get your wrist stacked. Squeeze the hell out of the bar. Go fairly. If you can't get a deep enough stretch, going flat back helps. Gripping the bar in a position to where the elbows go as low as possible will put the most stretch on the chest. Stop bouncing the damn bar off your chest. The people who are doing that, who then say dumbbells, they get way more. And I get a little more. Okay, I understand, especially if you get a little more range of motion. But we come back over to, couldn't you get that range of motion out of the barbell if you really tried? Because that's not where dumbbells truly shine. And if you really, really do it correctly, you can get that deep stretch with a barbell. Dumbbells are great for working multiple muscles. They're great for making sure that both the pecs and the front delts get pretty balancedly worked because of the free rotation of it. They're not necessarily going to work your pecs harder, and people need to understand that. If you learn to bench correctly, your pecs should be worked just as hard with the barbell. Okay, it's the overall balance of the dumbbell. And dumbbells are good. I like dumbbells. But the thing is, if you do it correctly, you're going to feel your chest. And the guys who are bouncing it off their chest, almost every time someone tells me they feel the dumbbells way more, tell them, show me how to bench. They ego lift. They walk over, they psych themselves up, and they bounce the bar off their chest on every rep. They bounce it. You are bouncing it so that you're skipping the mechanical tension at the bottom. At the bottom is where the pectorals are placed in the greatest mechanical tension. The deepest stretch, you're trying to cheat through it. Well, of course you're not feeling it because you're cheating on the exercise. Bring it to a pause. Maintain tightness in your chest while you pause on the chest for a 1 count. Press it and do a set to maybe 1 rep in reserve, or even till the spotter has to grab the bar. Do that for a weight that's about an 8 to 12 rep max. Then come back and tell me that your pecs are not stretched and pumped. Okay, the people who are telling you this don't know how to bench. And so you've got to wonder, do they know how to perform any other exercise? If they can't figure out how to feel their pecs and find the angle to get the pec really worked on a flat bench, how are they doing it on other movements? They're just getting lucky. And it's because there's an ego attached to it. Remove the ego and say, okay, how am I going to bench today? What am I trying to get out of it? Am I chasing a max bench? Or am I chasing bigger pecs? And you need to train that way accordingly with what you're doing with the exercise. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative. And I'll talk to you guys next time.